Hi everybody, it's Pastor Leah. Hi Sebastian. So I'm speaking to you from my office clearly, but on the day that you're seeing this, I am in Summerville, Georgia at Paradise Gardens, walking around this folk art mecca in Georgia. So that's why I'm not here. So this is a roast, right? We're supposed to tell funny stories about Sebastian. The best Sebastian story, one of the best that I have, happened last summer when you were in the hospital, and I was there with Bella, and your brother was there, and I don't know, maybe a few other people, and we'd come to the hospital to hang out and joke and tell funny stories and just goof off. And then it was time for me to go, so I was like, well, you know, should we pray before I go? And you say, sure, and Maddox says, sure, and Bella says, sure. And I say, well, I was starting to ask, what should we pray about? And then the nurses came in, and I was like, oh, hi, we're about to pray. Would you guys like to pray with us? And the nurses go, oh, sure, of course, we'll pray with you. So they get in this prayer circle with us, and then I say, Sebastian, what would you like to pray about? And you say, pterodactyls. And I say, okay, let's pray. And so we all closed our eyes, and I said, Dear God, I come to you today with your good and faithful servant Sebastian and his friends and his brother. And God, we give you thanks for all of the fun times that we've had, like standing around and praying about pterodactyls. Amen. And then, we all high-five each other, and I'm like, the nurses just prayed about pterodactyls. It was hilarious. But, you know, that's the kind of joy that you bring into our life. That here we are in a hospital room, and you've got 4 infections, and you feel like crap, and at the same time you say, let's see the joy and the beauty in life. Sebastian, you show us how to live and live to the fullest every day. And I am so proud to be your pastor, and we are blessed as a community that you have been part of this church, and that you continue to be part of this church. I hope people are roasting you like none other tonight, and I hope you're having a great time. Love to you, and love to you all. I'll see you soon.
Is going to share some wonderful words about Sebastian. I can't wait.
So, I'm Dana, I'm Sebastian's mom. I have a lot of stories that I could tell, but I'm not going to embarrass him that much. So, I am going to embarrass him a little bit because I have to, because this is a roast. So, when Sebastian was about 2 years old, he was going to the Kindercastle Learning Center. It was the daycare that he went to. All of my kids went to that daycare. And he was getting picked up, and I get this phone call that says, hey, I'm on my way home. I've got Sebastian, and he got in trouble today, and you're never going to guess what he did. I said, okay. He's like, no, seriously. You could guess all day long, and you would not come up with what he has done. So I was intrigued, so I'm like, okay, what did he do? And they said, well, apparently, he was on the rainbow couch, because there was a rainbow couch at the daycare, and one of the kids pushed him off of the rainbow couch, and he was upset. And his retaliation for being pushed off the rainbow couch was to pull down his pants and pee on this child. So I asked him, like, why would you do that? Why did you pee on this kid? And he says, I don't know. And I said, well, what made you think that that was the thing that you should do? And he says, I don't know. So, don't push Bastion off the rainbow couch. You just might get peed on. So, I have some other stories I could tell, but I'm not going to do that because I promised him I would only tell one really embarrassing story. Because that one is my favorite. But Sebastian he is just, I don't know, he's everything. He's so wonderful. He has taught me what it means to be brave. Like, for real brave. And I am
I am very proud to be your mom. I love you. So, Jim, you want to, not to put you on the spot, but put you on the spot, share about Sebastian.
Hi, I'm Jim, and I'm Sebastian's dad. We have done a lot of things. We've been to a lot of different cool places, and one of my favorite memories with him was when we went to when we were in Hawaii, and he was not feeling good. I mean, he was sick, and he just didn't feel good. And the pictures that we took there, it showed. But he was a real trooper. And we stopped on the way someplace. We pulled off the side of the road to get some pictures of these trees. And there were these cats running all over the place. And him and Maddox thought they were going to catch one. And these are feral cats. They're in the wild, and they think they're going to catch one of them. But watching them running around and being brothers is one of the things I'll always remember. Aside from them being brothers and trying to kill each other. Trying to get Maddox to do things that he really shouldn't do, but he will do them because that's what they do. But like Dana said, Sebastian's shown me what real courage is. It's, you know, it's not how big and tough you are. It's what you can get through when you know that that's what you got to do. And I'm proud to be his dad.
Now I'm going to ask Izzy and Rochelle to come up. Woo! Woo! Going to be married soon! Woo woo!
You are going to be married soon.
So there's a lot of things that I could say about Sebastian. There's a lot of stories I could tell, like Dana said, that are pretty embarrassing. I think one of the first times that I ever hung out at Dana's house, he was maybe 8, and he wanted control of the TV, and Gabby wouldn't give it to him, so he started making this crazy, like, alien noise that I didn't even think a human being could make. And I was like, what is that? And Gabby's like, that's just his way of saying no. That's what he did. I was like, okay, whatever. But one of the, I think, highlights of our early relationship is when I was over at their old house, and I was talking to Dana, and Bastian comes running into her room and is like, Izzy, I gotta show you something. And I said, okay. Do you want your mom to come? He's like, no, just you come. So I come out to the living room, and Maddox is in a laundry basket at the top of the stairs.
Okay.
And Bastian's like, I had this great idea that it could be like indoor sledding. He's like, but I'm not going to do it because I think it's dangerous. So Maddox is smaller and fits in the basket better. And before I can say anything, he lets go of the basket. And Maddox goes hurtling down the stairs towards the front door. Pops out, hits his head on the door, and leaps up and is like, yeah! That was awesome. So when I go and get Dana, and I say, look at what your kids came up with. This is a pretty great winter activity, right? And she's like, hold on a minute, this is crazy. You need to put blankets and pillows in front of the door. So, needless to say, it was a lot of fun until inevitably Maddox drew blood. But I will say that in the video that is on Facebook somewhere, it looks a lot worse than it is because he was drinking Kool-Aid first. That's not all blood. I'm just saying, it's not all blood. And he insisted it didn't hurt. He actually wanted to do it again, but we finally drew the line. We're like, no, there's blood. You should probably stop. There's a lot more stories that I could tell, but I want to give other people time to talk about Bastion and some of the exciting moments that they've had. What? That's great. There's a picture like that on the collage I made when he's a little bit older. That was a common thing. But I guess the main thing that I want to say, you know, because I have to get a little serious, is that from when I first met Bastion, after the alien noises stopped anyway, when we started talking, communicating like human beings, I realized that he is a lot like me. A lot like me. And I'm not just saying that because he's gay, okay? Not saying it. It's just a coincidence. The way that he is and the person that he is, the way that he, you know, loves to make other people happy, the way that he likes to bring smiles to other people's faces, and it just reminds me a lot of myself. And you know, he's always been and always will be my mini-me, even though he's almost as tall as me now, the jerk. And you know, he got confirmed last summer, and he asked me then, a little bit before then, to be his godmother. And that means the world to me, you know, because he's made a huge difference in my life. You know, he, like other people have mentioned, like Dana said, you know, he shows me every day what it means to really live life, to be brave, and to just be, you know, no matter what's going on. Bastion shows up every day, you know, and he lives his life. And some days he has bad days, and some days he has good days. And that's never changed since I first met him till now. You know, he's one of the best people that I've ever met, and I'm sure you all could say the same. And it has nothing to do with anything that's happened to him in his life. It's just who he is. So Bastion, I love you. Rochelle loves you. I don't think she wants to tell you any embarrassing stories.
I don't really have any embarrassing stories, but I just want to say that Sebastian has just brought a lot of color into my world, and I have never heard a 13-year-old boy say as many times as he does how sexy he is. And that his jawline is perfect. Michelle, look at my jawline. Let's take a selfie. I love you. I'm glad you're my life. I'm glad that you are going to be in our wedding. One of the greatest blessings of meeting Izzy is that I got to meet you. So I'm better for knowing you, man.
And now I'm going to ask Emily and Bella to come and share.
So we have compiled a list of reasons why Sebastian is a folio. So he dyed his hair purple. No, I love your hair, but so it was blonde in the first place, and then he had to bleach it again, and I think that that's a little weird. Okay, so reason number 2 would be his phone case, which says, "Drink responsibly." Oh, it says please drink responsibly. Reason number 3 is all of the times when he says, I'm fat. And this is right after like eating maybe a little bit of fruit, you know, not much, but all the time. Okay. Also, reason number 4 is in turn the amount of times that he says that he's sexy. So, like Michelle said, we'll be taking the selfie and be like, wait, which one is the most sexy? You have to choose the most sexy one. And also he'll say, sorry Aunt Emily, but he'll say things like, we'll be in the tower room in summer and he'll say, and I don't know if you guys know, but it gets really hot up there. And he'll say, guys, it's so hot in this room, or maybe it's just me.
And also his sexy faces, which he has a lot of. And then reason number 5 would be the way he blames things on other people. So my example of this is the mac and cheese incident. At our confirmation retreat, we were making mac and cheese, and Jake and Dale were mixing it all together, and Sebastian was pouring in the milk. And he was trying to get the last little bit of milk out of the container. And so he's shaking it up and down, and I'm just not really doing anything. So I'm leaving and walking into the other room, and he's still shaking it, trying to get the milk out. And the measuring cup breaks, and the handle comes off of the cup part, and it flies and hits Jake in the face. And the milk goes everywhere. And then Tom walks into the room, and Sebastian says, Aunt Emily did it.
And so even though, Sebastian, you are such a dork, but you bring this, like, you're the person who can probably make me laugh the most consistently. When you're around me, I'm like just automatically happier, even though you're weird. Okay, that's all I have to say.
The point is that you're an awesome dork.
Okay.
Who else would like to share this evening? I, of course, have a story, but I'm going to save it for a little bit later. Who else would like to share either a roast or maybe a compliment or two for Sebastian?
I got this. I got this.
And please introduce yourself to everybody.
I'm Heidi. Sebastian's my friend. This is Marley. The first time I met Sebastian was at Marley's party. And when I got there, he comes up to me and says, do you want to see a picture of me with makeup on? And I'm like, okay. I'm like, what's your name? And he's like, Sebastian.
And so they go into my room, and like a lot of people bring like a whole bunch of makeup, so we're gonna do like makeovers or something. And literally one of our friends put makeup on Sebastian, and he like went, and Heidi did that, and he went around, going around saying like, I'm so fabulous, like look at me, I'm sexy and all that. And like he was taking pictures with everybody.
And then, okay, so there's this, her friend Ryan, who's gay. We were all sitting down in her living room. We're like talking and eating pizza and whatever. And, okay, so Ryan, because all of the girls were gonna have a sleepover, and Sebastian's like, well, if I come out of the closet, can I stay the night over? And so he gets into the walk-in closet at Marley's house. He comes out and takes his shirt off. And then my friend Summer, who's not here, she puts a balloon in his waistband thinking that he's a stripper.
And then he would go around asking people,
do you want to give
Do you want to give
you a lap
a lap dance? And then we would give him like a balloon, just to put like for like money, and you just go around dancing. It was so funny. I've been through my friend Desi, who isn't here, and even when like me and Desi would talk to him when she would come over, when I first talked to him, he was really funny, and he would just like crack me up, and we would be like, we would talk about like hot Cheetos, and I would be like hot Cheeto buddies, hot Cheeto Bay, and he was just like really funny, and I'm just glad like I'm one of his friends. So.
Yeah. Well, my mom, she's over here like crying.
No more sleepover.
Honestly, Sebastian, he's awesome. Like, whenever I talk to him, he just makes me happy, and I can't ever be sad, because he's like, are you sad? Because I'm gonna make you happy, and it's just, there's like no words to describe it. Like, he's just Sebastian.
Who else would like to share this evening?
How you doing? I'm DJ Kyle. This is my DJ partner Carlos. So Carlos has barbecues in his backyard quite often in the summer, and being DJs, we know a lot of DJs and music people, so we set up DJ equipment in the backyard, which the neighbors usually love a lot. So Sebastian was at the picnic, and he's sitting in a chair, like here be the DJ equipment. He's sitting right here, staring at him. People DJing. So the DJ stopped DJing to eat, and he's sitting there staring at it. I go over to sit next to him. I said, "You want to try that out?" And he looks at me and he says, "Yeah." So we went up there on equipment that was not ours. Go play. So he wants to DJ and scratch and go crazy and everything. And he was doing okay. And then our friend Vex came over, who was a little on the intoxicated side, and started screaming in Sebastian's ears, "Like this! Do it! Like this! You got it! You're going to get all kinds of money!" So Sebastian looks at him and he says, "I got it." So it was just a quick story. I enjoyed it. It cracked me up because a whole room full of DJs, Sebastian jumps on there like he owns the building. And then Jim looks at me and says, "Thanks, because now I got to go buy DJ equipment." It was a good day. I was glad you were there.
Anyone else like to share? Surely y'all have stories. I know you have stories.
Right here, right here.
Peggy's got us.
What's up, y'all? My name is Peggy, and my story is when Megan, who's my wife, Jim and Dana, we all went, and Maddox and Dash, we all went to a zombie walk where we all dressed up like zombies, and we were trying to grab these flags off of people that were running by, and we didn't do very well, but you know, we got to be zombies, and that was cool. And, we won some tickets to Shaun of the Dead. Thank you. I was like The Walking Dead. No, that's not right.
Hold the mic up.
Like this.
That's it.
Like I'm about to rap or something. No. So we went to the movie. Oh, did I miss the zombie picture? Yeah. That's okay. I was there. So we went to the Shaun of the Dead movie, and it was great. We watched it, and then it got over, and then we were all out in like the lobby, and I'll never forget when Sebastian went up to Maddox, and he was like, "Hey, Maddox," and Maddox was like, "What?" And he was like, started right on his brother, and I was like, didn't know your brother, dude. And apparently that's a thing that happens, I don't know. But I thought it was pretty funny. And it was, I mean, because it's like, he's small, you know how you were telling people that he's fat, and he told me that once, and I was like, you see, you were looking at me, right? Well, it was just real funny, and it's something that I'll never forget, because...
Where's that me?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, it was creepy, right? We deserved those tickets. So, bachelor party. I'll never forget when bachelor parties. Because it's pretty raunchy. But...
Someone else like to share?
Hi, I'm Becky Sheridan, and I'm a member of the church here. I don't really have a funny Sebastian story. I have a story that is what most people have already said, how sweet he can be and how funny he can be, but also how caring he is. And I have Jan and I have a great niece who was 6 years old when she was diagnosed with neuroblastoma, and when Sebastian heard about it, he says, Becky, do you think I could ever meet her? He'd like to talk to her. And I said, I don't know if we'll be able to get that arranged. She lives about 100 miles from here, but maybe her parents and I and Jan could meet down in Charleston with you. It hasn't come to pass. She's been having lots of treatments since she was diagnosed in June. However, one time I was helping Dane out a little bit and brought Sebastian from their house over to church, and we were just talking a little because she was coming up for a bone marrow transplant, and Sebastian says, Becky, when I had mine, I couldn't eat anything. He says, I just couldn't eat. And he says, but if it happens to her, why don't you tell her that applesauce might taste pretty good? Guess what? She's finished with her bone marrow transplant. She did eat. That wasn't one of her problems. But now she's eating applesauce, and just about everything she eats, she dips it into applesauce. He hasn't heard that yet, but I thought that would be a good story, Sebastian. Okay.
Someone else? Right here.
Sebastian knows me in two capacities, and he's like, oh crap. I haven't known you real well, but I've known you, I see you at church all the time. And this year I became his school social worker, which is so cool. And I just got to say that he could, he could come to school, he could not come to school. He could say, I'm not coming to school, or he could come with a bad attitude, but I work with a lot of kids at school, and Sebastian comes in every time he's there, he's smiling, he makes people laugh, he always comes with a good attitude, and I gotta say, you're one of the most fantastic kids I've ever known. You really are. And I'm so proud of you, and of your courage, and of the way you make people feel, because there's just nobody else like you. You're just a wonderful guy. And sexy.
Just want to say, your hair is rocking. If I had the confidence, I'd totally steal it from you. It is sexy.
All right, Mallory is going to come up and share.
So I'm Mallory, and I've kind of made Sebastian. Where's my other guys? I've like made Sebastian be my friend kind of over the past like couple of months. Like I bribe him with coffee, or with like books to read that then he can tell me about. But so one morning I pick him up and we drive to a coffee shop, And he kind of dictates to me this whole like book review of this book that we've like both read, and we talk about it a little bit. And like half an hour goes by probably, and we're both very well caffeinated at this point, which is important, I think. And but there were like still like 40 minutes before church was supposed to start because we were kind of fitting this in before church. And for the next 40 minutes, I got the most complete description of Pokemon and anime I could ever imagine. And every once in a while, there was like a Clash of Clans reference, or Maddox thinks he's really good at the Wii, but I don't think he is. Like, you know, little references like that. Sorry, Maddox. It was just a joke. But at the end of it, we're like talking, and most of this has been kind of like just a discussion about like life and anime and this book and how we both love coffee and sweet things in the coffee. And then he looks at me and he's like, "But how are you?" And admittedly, we only have like a minute and a half before we can go to sleep for church, but it was just very heartfelt, especially since we didn't really know one another very much. So in the interim, I keep trying to find new ways to get him to come to coffee with me before church. But I always enjoy our coffee pre-church sessions, and you're just such a friendly and loving person, even in the small capacity that I've known you.
I will share one of my many stories that I have with Sebastian. One of my favorite things I do on Sunday morning is pick up Sebastian for church, and usually take him home for church from church. And so one of the times that I was driving with him, we saw some deer ahead of us, and I panicked because, oh my gosh, Sebastian's in the front seat and I have to protect Sebastian. So a not so great word came out of my mouth in that moment. I won't say it out loud in this moment. No. And Sebastian says, "You just swore and you put the mom hold on me." And so then I'm thinking, great, I'm the youth pastor here, and I just swore in front of one of the kids, who's now, his mom is the office manager, my pastor's my boss, and what am I going to do with this? And so then Sebastian goes and tells the pastor and his mom that I swore more than once, which for the record I didn't. I'll own the one. I'll own the one. But it's such a joy to have Sebastian at church and confirmation and youth group with the kids. Just such a blessing, but I won't get into all that really cheesy, wonderful stuff because you already know it. So just want to say Sebastian's just a great blessing in our lives. And I love taking him to church. That has only happened once.
Bastion is a man of many nicknames. One of them being Mr. Pippy Pee Poopy Pants. And one time when he was little, he pooped his pants and my mom freaked out and made him go take a shower, and then she left the bathroom for like 30 minutes or something and came back and he was crying, and she was like, "What did you do?" And she was like, "He wouldn't talk," and she looked in the bathtub and he pooped in the bathtub.
You really don't have to hide. One of the other nicknames he had growing up was Boogie, and all of us called him that. And you can only imagine how he came up with that nickname. But he was a kid that really liked to pick his nose. And he wouldn't eat it, he'd just pick it and wipe it places or flick it. So we all I mean, it stuck, everybody. It quit shaking your head at me. Yeah, and then I remember, handsome man? Yeah, when he was little, I mean, when I first met Sebastian, he was still in diapers, he was tiny. And I remember he used to go up to him and he'd ask him, "What's your name?" And he'd look at you and he'd put his hands in you and go and be like, "I'm handsome man." Like, it was every time. His name wasn't Sebastian. It was your handsome man. I mean, it was one of the cutest things ever. It really was. You took the microphone from him.
Oh, well, those are his nicknames.
And the question is, how are we going to follow that, right? So who would like to be next? Sebastian is trying to hide as much as he can in this moment.
Don't hide, handsome man.
So, Dana wanted me to tell a story about the retribution of the kid in the rainbow couch, and I wouldn't do that. I will relate a story about Sebastian coming into this world. My wife and I had just met. Maybe a third date, fourth date? Oh, sorry. Is that better?
Yeah.
So about the third date, fourth date with my wife, I get a phone call. My daughter's at the hospital in labor. So I do the only natural thing, and I bring her along. So we're waiting for the impending birth. And Dana wants, so I do the only natural thing, and I bring her along. And somehow I discover on my fourth date with my wife that I'm holding one of my daughter's legs. My date is holding the other. Is being born. We were sealed forever. It was an awe-inspiring moment, and truly was. You came into this world screaming and making faces, and I don't think you stopped once. At least at the making faces. For me, you will always be the master of the face. How appropriate. In these past few years, you have been the definition of courage to me. You've faced things and have handled things that would have had me in a puddle in the corner of the room. My hat's off to you, young man. I am proud to be your grandfather.
Anybody else that would like to share?
Yes, I'm trying back for you. You heard it first. Don't laugh, big fuzzy man. Hi, my name is Diane. You're going to laugh at that really close. Oh, for the love of Pete. Hi, can you hear me now? All right, here we go. See, I was going to do this when this is over because my face leaks. I have known the purple-headed Wonder Boy since he was pissing himself. He was this tall.
Hold it up.
Wasn't he? He was this tall.
Hold the mic up.
She's got it.
How high you want it? I don't talk real loud most of the time, okay? Because there's too many people in here for me right now. That's okay.
You got it.
I'll just look at the purple-headed Wonder. I love you more than you will ever know. You are my hero. A lot of people do this. What would Jesus do? I do. What would Bastion do? Okay, because you have one of the best damn sense of humors. You really do. And the last time you were in my house, which wasn't too long ago, I just went into my room and I felt really good. I felt a lot of peace and serenity. And you helped put that there. And it has been a huge honor for me to get to sit back in my lawn chair with my cigarettes and my pop and watch you grow into who you are. I am very proud that you're in my life. You know, sister, you didn't do too shabby, neither one of you. You know, you turned out pretty good. The hair color, oh, please keep it. It works for you and it makes me feel good too, because I can't get that color on this. I love you, Bash.
Gotta love the pictures. Somebody else like to share?
No, please don't do that.
All right, so I encourage you, please go, the canvas is pretty blank. Feel free to go paint away, share with one another. Sebastian, I don't think actually wants to use the mic. I'm pretty sure, no, he says no. So feel free to come chat with Sebastian. We're gonna actually go do the piñata paint in a few minutes. Sebastian, you are a blessing. We love you, we treasure you, we want you to know it. I think you know it. So thank you all for coming tonight. You're going to do that and you're going to make me cry. Okay, so there are games, there's coloring pages, we have a piñata. Please talk, share with one another, talk to Sebastian. Thank you again for coming out tonight.
Let's give Jessica a round of applause.